everybody and welcome. Today's project is going to be a quick release buckle collar. I am using a 1-inch black plastic quick release buckle as well as a 1-inch nickel plated O-ring. And for the cords that I'll be using today, I'm using 550 paracords in black. And that is what my double cow's hitch is hooked up to. If you're not familiar with how to do a double cow's hitch, I'll leave a link below. I show you how to do it on a quick release buckle as well as if you were going to be using an adapter. I show you how to hook it up to both of those. And if you're not familiar with how to put it on your jig, I do go over that as well. The other cords that I'm going to be using today are, I'm using 550 in faded dark blue, also 550 in moss, as well as 550 in black and silver diamond, and then 275 in also black and silver diamond. The first cord that I'm going to be adding is the black and silver diamond in 550. And what you're going to do here is you can loosen up your cow's hitches a little bit, and you're just going to go in between those two cow's hitches. I am using a paracord needle. If you don't have one, it's quite alright. You can melt the end of your cord, make a hard cap so it's be easier to push through. But you're just going to go right in between both of these cow's hitches, just like that. Pull your cord to the other side and bring the middle of your cord to the top of your work. The next cord that I'm going to be adding is the faded dark blue. And what I'm going to do here is the exact same thing that I just did with the black and silver diamond. I'm going to just go right through those two cow's hitches. Go right through those two cow's hitches. Just like that. Pull it to the other side and bring the middle of the cord to the top of your work. And it doesn't want to stay on my needle for some reason, so I'm just going to push it through. Okay. Pull it to the other side now and bring the middle of the cord to the top of your work. The next cord that I'm going to add is the moss. And what I want to do with this cord is I want to go in between this first cow's hitch, right in between, underneath the two stitches going towards the left, and come up the second cow's hitch right in the middle. So I'm going to go right in between this first cow's hitch, go underneath the first stitch, go underneath the second stitch, right up the second cow's hitch, and again bring this cord to the middle at the top of your work. And the last cord is going to be the 275 in the black and silver diamond, and I'm going to do exactly what I did with the moss. I'm going to go in between this first cow's hitch on my right, go underneath the two stitches going towards the left, bring it up the second cow's hitch, and bring this cord to the middle at the top of my work. Once you have all your cords to the middle, I do suggest double checking your measurements just to make sure that nothing moved around, and you can tighten up your work. You can also roll up some of your ends. You can roll up your 550 in the black and silver diamond, and you can also roll up your 550 in black. What we're going to do first is we're going to make sure that our O-ring is at the top of our work. And then we can get started with weaving. So the way I'm going to be starting is on my right side, and I'm going to start with the black cord on my right side. And what I want to do here is I want to go underneath this first cord on my right up the middle, and then over that second cord that is on my left. So I'm going to go underneath the first, right up the middle, and then over. You can take your black on the left side now, go underneath the cord that you just worked, and now you're going to go underneath the first cord that is on your left, right up the middle, and then over the second cord on your right. So go underneath, right up the middle, and then over. The next cord that I'm going to take is my black and silver Dimond 550 cord. And what I want to do here is I'm going to go underneath all of my work and right up the middle. And then I have this loop on my right side that I just made. I'm going to go down that loop. So I'm going to take the 550 silver diamond on my right side, and I'm going to go underneath my work and right up the middle. And then I have my loop. I'm going to go down that loop. I'm going to take the silver diamond on my left now of the 550, and I'm going to go underneath again, right up the middle, and then down this loop that I made on my left side. So go underneath, right up the middle, and then down that loop on my left side. Now, I'm going to take that off. What you're going to do now is you're going to take your faded blue or the faded dark blue cord on your right side, and you're going to push it through that O-ring. So just push that through and pull it through. You have two horizontal black cords in the middle. You're going to pull up on those a little bit. What you want to do here is you're going to take this faded blue on your right side. You're going to go over and around those two horizontal black cords. You're also going to go around the bottom part of the O-ring, and then you're going to come up through the middle, but you're going to want to be on the right side of your faded blue. So go over and around the two horizontal cords and around that bottom part of the O-ring. Come up through the middle and then just put it on the right side of your working cord or your faded dark blue cord. And pull it up. Take the faded, I'm going to call it the faded blue instead of faded dark blue because I keep on forgetting to say dark, but it is faded dark blue. And all my supplies will be listed down below as usual. If you're looking to purchase them, they'll be listed down below for you guys. So I'm going to take the faded blue on my left side now, and I'm going to put it right through that O-ring again. I want to go around those two horizontal pieces again, around the bottom part of the O-ring, come up through the middle, but I want to be on the left side of my working cord. Let's go over and around, up through the middle, and place it on the left side of your faded blue and pull that through. The next cord that we're going to be grabbing is the moss on the right side. And again, we want to go through this O-ring. So I'm just going to push it through the O-ring. Once you have it through the O-ring, you're going to go around those two horizontal black pieces as well as around the bottom part of the O-ring. You're going to come up through the middle, but you want to come up on the right side of your working cord. So go over and around and come up the middle and then be on the right side of your working cord and pull that through. Take the one on the left now and go down through that O-ring again. You're going to do the same. You're going to go around those two horizontal pieces again, around the bottom part of the O-ring, come up through the middle, but you want to be on the left side of your working cord. So go over and around, up through the middle, and then just put it on the left side and pull that through. It gets a little congested here, but once we're done with the O-ring, it won't be as bad when we're doing the rest of the collar. The one good thing about it being so congested is that the horizontal black pieces and the O-ring are now together, so it's easy to go around, but just be aware of where you're placing your cords. So I'm going to take the silver diamond on my right side, the 275 cord, and I'm going to go again through that O-ring. Now I'm going to go around horizontal pieces in the O-ring, and I'm going to come up the middle, and I want to come up on the right side of my cord and pull that through. Take the one on the left, push it through the O-ring. You're going to want to go around those horizontal pieces, come up through the middle, but be on the left side of your working cord. Go over and around, come up the middle and be on the left side, pull that through. Now we can tighten it up, and as you're tightening it up, you can put through the 275 cord, the moss cord, as well as the faded blue cord. Those can all go through the O-ring as you're tightening it up. It'll help tighten it up and smooth everything out as you're going along. Alright, once you have it nice and tight, I actually made a mistake with the direction of the moss cord, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix that direction. So for the moss cord, when I went around the two horizontal pieces and around the O-ring, I went out my right with my right cord, so I'd been on my right side of my working cord, and I did the left on my left side of my working cord. What I should have done is brought it just straight up the middle, so I would have been on the opposite side of my working cord. And I can show you how you can quickly fix this without having to take everything apart. So for my right cord, which is here, what you can do is you can lift up on this moss stitch a little bit, and you can take your cord, your loose end that's coming out of the right, and just push it through this loop that I just made. And that will bring it to the left side of my working cord. And then you can just tighten that up. And then for the opposite side, you're going to do the same thing, just the mirror image. So you're just going to pick up on that stitch. You're going to push it to the opposite side that the cord, the loose end is coming out of. And then you can just tighten that up. And now they're on the opposite side that they were on. And that's a simple way to fix it without having to take everything apart. And you're just going to want to tighten them back up. And now I'm going to roll up all of my loose ends that I have. Alright, I got all my ends rolled up, and we can start this weave all over again. I am going to be starting off on my right side with my black, and I'm going to go underneath that first cord, right up the middle, and then over. Take the one on my left, go underneath the cord that I just worked. I'm going to go underneath the first cord, right up the middle, and then over. Now I'm going to take this silver diamond 550 cord on my right side, and I'm going to go underneath my work, right up the middle, and then I have my loop on my right side, and I'm going to go down that loop. Take the one on the left now, go underneath the cord that you just... I'm going to take the one on the left now, and I'm going to go underneath, right up the middle, and then down this loop that I made on my left. And now things will be a lot easier because we do have the O-ring taken care of. So you can pick up on these two horizontal black pieces. You're going to take your faded blue on your right side, and you're going to go over and around and out the right. So take the faded blue on your right and go over and around and out the right. Take the one on the left. You're going to go over and around, but out the left. Over, around, and out the left. Now for the moss cord, what we're going to do here is, this is the cord that I switched. So technically I went over and around and right up the middle to bring the cords to the opposite side of what I did in the very beginning. Now I'm going to actually be switching, and I'm going to go over and around, and I'm going to go out the right. So when I fixed it with the right cord, I'm coming out the left. Now I'm going to be going out the right. So go over and around and out the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around, but out the left. Over, around, and out the left. And for the 275 cords, I'm going to take the one on my right, and I'm going to go over and around, and I'm going to come straight up the middle. So go over, around, and up the middle. Take the one on the left, go over and around those two horizontal cords, and come straight up the middle. And then you can tighten it up. Once you have it all nice and tight, we can start that weave all over again. I am going to be starting off on my right side with my black, and I'm going to go underneath the first cord, right up the middle, over the second cord. Take the one on my left, go underneath the cord that I just worked. I'm going to go underneath this first cord, right up the middle, and then over the second cord. Next, you're going to take your silver diamond in the 550 cord, and you're going to want to go underneath your work, right up the middle, and then down that loop on your right. Take the one on your left, go underneath, right up the middle, down that loop on your left. Now we're going to find those two horizontal pieces again. Take the faded blue on your right side, go over and around and out the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around and out the left. Now we're back to the moss cord. What we're going to do now is we're going to take our moss on the right, and we're going to go over and around and straight up the middle. So every other weave you're going to be coming straight up the middle, and that opposite time you're going to be coming out the right. So it's every other one that we're doing this on. So go over and around and right up the middle. And that's what I should have done in the beginning instead of going to the right. Take the one on the left, go over and around and straight up the middle. Now you're going to do the opposite with the 275 cord. Make sure that they're not twisted, because it can happen. You're going to take the one on the right, and you're going to go over and around, and now you're going to come out the right. Over, around, and out the right. take the one on the left, go over and around and out the left, and then you can tighten it up. Alright, once you have it tightened, we're going to just start again. So I'm going to start off on my right with my black. I'm going to go underneath my first cord, right up the middle, over that second cord. Take the one on my left, go underneath the cord that I just worked, right up the middle again, and then over. Now you're going to take your 550 silver diamond, go underneath, right up the middle, then down that loop on your right. Take the one on the left, go underneath, right up the middle, down that loop on your left. Now we're going to take the faded blue, find those two horizontal pieces, take the faded blue on your right, go around them and out your right side, take the one on the left, go over and around those two horizontal pieces and out your left. Now we're back to the moss, and before I went right up the middle with the right, now I'm going to take the cord on my right and go out the right. So go over and around those two horizontal pieces and out the right, take the one on the left, do the opposite of what you just did on that last weave, go over and around, and you're going to go out the right. And now the 275 cord, what we're going to do is the opposite of what we just did with the moss. So we're going to go over and around those two horizontal pieces and come right up the middle. So go over and around and right up the middle with the right, take the one on the left, go over and around and right up the middle, and then tighten it up. Okay, I went a few weaves down just to show you a bigger portion done, and I'm going to be doing the same exact weave all the way down the collar. Always remember that whatever you're doing with the green, whether you're going out the right or the left, you're going to be doing the opposite with the 275 silver diamond cord. As well as you'll always be doing the opposite of what you did in the previous weave. So I'm going to continue this one, and when I get to the end, I'll show you guys how I do my tie off and what it looks like when it's completely finished. Alright, I am at the end of my collar. I took it off the jig, and now we can weave in the ends. Alright, the first cord that I'm going to be weaving in is the faded blue. And what you're going to want to do with the faded blue on both sides, as well as the moss green, you have a gap in between your work and the two cow's hitches. You're going to go in that gap with all four of those cords from front to back. Once you have that taken care of, we can do the 275 cord. So for this cord, for both of them, you have a very small hole in between your two cow stitches. You're going to go through that hole from front to back with both of the 275 cords. And once we finish that, we can start to cut and melt everything. So I'm going to be starting off on my sides. And I'm going to go about half an inch, quarter of an inch the way up from the collar. I'm going to fray these out. And then I'm going to melt them, and then I will also squish them down. Be careful if you're working with plastic buckles where you aim your flame. Now I'm going to squish that down. I'm going to do the bottom one. squish that down. I'll do the same on the opposite side. Once you have that taken care of, we can start with the middle cords. So I'm going to be starting with the cords that are directly on the bottom, which are going to be my moss green cords. And I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to cut it about the same length, maybe a little bit longer. I'm going to fray it out. I'm going to hold these other cords out of the way while I burn it. And then I'm going to squish that down. Next I'm going to do this, actually I'm going to do the other moss green next. Then I'll do the 2 faded blue and then the 275. And I'll do them all one at a time, because if you do them one at a time, it is easier to hold these ones out of the way. Okay, once you have finished that, you can use your collar as is. I am going to be putting some Gorilla Glue on the ends that I melted. You don't have to. It is just a little bit of extra security. And because this is a customer's collar, I definitely want that little bit of extra security for them, that their collar will stay put where everything is. So a little bit goes a long way. I use clear, non-foaming Gorilla Glue. And if you put too much on, you can always take your finger and wipe it away. It is waterproof, and I have never had any complaints about anything coming apart or anything like that. So I'm going to let this dry for a few hours, and then once it is finished drying, I can let you guys see what the finished result looks like.